All right. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. We look forward to having a wonderful educational event with you. And the focus that we're going to be talking about is real estate investor mindset and the importance of that mindset with our special guest, Cal Ewing. I am currently hosting this, but the current host, Michael Matthew, I'm stepping in just for today, just to support. And yeah, let's just continue. This is his contact information if you want to get a hold of him, if you had any specific questions with regards to anything you hear, or if you have a special project or situation that you'd like to discuss further. That's his contact information. As discussed today, we are going to be speaking about the real estate investor mindset with our special guest, Cal Ewing, and the importance of mindset in real estate and how to, and the difference it makes with your investing. Um, before we continue, I have to give a brief disclaimer that this is as is type of conversation, and that none of the information provided is to be regarded as tax, accounting, or legal advice, and it shall not be relied upon as such. And none of the material here today is to be considered or construed as solicitation, recommendation, or offer to buy or sell any security, product, property, or instrument. Also note, as laws and legislation change and different court decisions change, so what might be discussed here today might not be relevant tomorrow. So just be mindful of that. And that's why, reach out to Michael, or, just be aware that that's something to be mindful of. All right, so before we get started, if you have any questions that you'd like or you hear during this presentation, we will be opening up the floor later to answer some of your questions. But in the meantime, feel free to drop it in the chat, and we'll get to it at the end. Also, give me one sec here. Someone else is coming, joining us. Michael does offer a complimentary consultation, as I mentioned, and the best way to arrange that for a one-on-one with him is at the email address that you see on your screen, and it will be included a little later in the chat as well, which is Michael at MMCPA.
I'll just pause you there. I think we're looking at the wrong screen. We're looking at not the shared screen. We're looking at the PowerPoint window, I guess. So we're only seeing the first screen, just so you're aware.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm not sure what just happened here.
I think you're just maybe sharing the wrong view or something.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Cal.
There you go.
There you go. Let me just see if I could get us back on track here. Again, pardon me, everyone. I am stepping in for Michael today, but that's the contact email if you want to get a hold of him for a free consultation. So I'm just going to stop this and pass it over to our special guest, Cal. Cal has been in real estate for 13 plus years, and he could share some of the amazing transactions and how he got into it. So, Cal, feel free to introduce yourself and give the group a little perspective of where you're at, and start your presentation. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for coming on tonight. I'm sure you got busy schedules, lots going on. I know my family sure does. We've got 2 kids in sports, and everyone's back to work from the summer. So appreciate your time spent learning and exploring real estate investing further. In my experience, it's a never-ending beast. It's a never-ending place of joy, really, as well. You never stop learning, and there's always new things you can get from hearing speakers. So I appreciate your time and hearing me share some of my experiences on mindset. So I'm just going to share my screen here, and let me know, please, if you're not seeing the full screen, because I know it can be tricky. Okay, are you guys seeing the full screen of PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay.
It's only at the full screen. If you want to see if you could switch and if it'll change.
Okay. There we go.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
there we go.
Awesome. All right. And yeah. So if you guys have any questions, we'll answer them at the end, just because I do have a lot of slides I want to make sure we get through, and I'll save some time for questions at the end. Yeah. So I did have the luxury of speaking to this group maybe a year ago or so. I think Michael had me in, so it's great to be back. But I live in Calgary, Alberta. My name's Cal from Calgary, and I've been investing in U.S. real estate since 2009. So I've actually never done a single real estate deal in Canada except for my own residence. I got going in 2009, right when I was taking a degree in geology, actually at U of C, and ended up getting into real estate. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, like so many people have, and it really blew my mind. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for a career. I chose geology because, of course, in Calgary, we're in the middle of the oil and gas hub of Canada. And so that's where a lot of people were going into, because that's where great careers were, right? High paying, good careers. So I took geology, but when I read Rich Dad, I realized that what I really wanted was something that would allow me the freedom to do what I want, to be my own boss, set my own terms, live by my own life I want to live, not on an employer's timeline and an employer's dime. And I think part of that was because I grew up on a ranch. My dad was an entrepreneur. My mom also, she was like the ranch wife, so she helped run the show. And so my parents were their own bosses, and I grew up that way. And so I felt that working for someone else always felt wrong. And I think it's just because my upbringing, that's what you did. You were your own boss in my upbringing. And I hated working for someone. So when I discovered real estate, I jumped in full steam ahead, and I've been doing it ever since 2009. And so I've completed 100 plus real estate transactions, both real estate, buying mortgage notes, and a bunch of different strategies that I'll sort of gloss over because we're talking about mindset today. But I've done some fix and flips down in Texas, mainly rental properties. I've done some owner finance deals, subject to, which is where you take over the seller's mortgage. So you keep the mortgage in the seller's name, but you get the property and then you make payments on it. I've wholesaled many deals, something called wholetailing. I've bought at the property tax deed auctions, which is like a tax foreclosure auction. So I've done a lot of different things in my career, all in the US, and mostly in Texas, but also Nevada, Arizona. Both Nevada and Arizona is where I got my start. A little bit in Ohio, Georgia, etc. And so my current focus right now, in the past couple of years, has been buying mortgage notes. So becoming the banker, instead of actually owning the property, being the bank and having the borrowers make their mortgage payments to me and my company, but we're secured to real estate. All right. And I also do some real estate investing coaching. I've done some online coaching during COVID. I taught some wholesale real estate wholesaling training and things like that on Zoom, which is pretty fun. And I'm not going to go through all my past deals, but just to show that I've done something. And I'm not just here talking. These are some of the deals I've done. Most of them were in Houston, so I've done quite a bit of different real estate, all single family. But today, Michael asked me to come on and talk about mindset. And at first, I was thinking to myself, like, first of all, what do I know about mindset? Second of all, how do you talk about mindset? Like, how do you figure out what's going on and put it into a presentation? So I'm going to do my best. I've come up with some pillars, what I think are important when it comes to a good real estate investing mindset. And there's a lot to it. This is definitely more than just crunching numbers. And with like every new venture, if you guys are getting into real estate investing, there's a whole mind shift, right? And if you're getting into entrepreneurship, there's a whole mindset shift that you're going to have to go through as well. Some of us come by it naturally. Some of us have to work at it. I know I had to work at it. But it really is everything when it comes to real estate, and especially when things get tough, and they will. The longer you're in it, eventually you're going to reach, challenges and hardships that you're going to have to overcome. And proper mindset is everything there. I just see there's something in the chat there. Okay. Well, it's just the email address. All right. And that's the thing. Some of you might find certain aspects of your mindset really easy. Some of you might be just super positive people and you find that easy. Just naturally, that's how you are. Maybe others of you are more pessimistic or negative, and it's something you have to work on as a practice to change some of those parts of your mind and your mental environment in order to succeed. And you may not even know what your weaknesses are mentally until you come up against them, right? And so I'm coming here. I'm not a mindset guru. I'm not Tony Robbins, and it's been a lifelong thing that I think we all have to work on throughout our lives to improve our mindset, no matter where we are, even if we are Tony Robbins. All right. And I think that's really through learning, reading, practicing, just reminding yourself when you're trying to switch. It's just like switching habits, right? It's just constantly being present to how you're thinking and focusing on what you can do to change the things you don't like about your mindset and the way you're feeling and thinking and reacting to the world and, of course, to your business. I'd like to share what I've learned so far. All right. So I came up with this is kind of the basics. And I actually had a mindset coach for a while. He was a business coach. He wasn't into real estate, but he worked with entrepreneurs and got them to high level performance. And it was really funny. The first things he focused on with me in my first couple of calls with him, I was really surprised, were tracking sleep, hydration, nutrition, exercise, and sunlight, vitamin D. And I was kind of really just disappointed with that, my first call, because I was expecting to get some kind of revolutionary things I could implement right away to increase my income and all this stuff. But I had to track how many glasses of water I was drinking, how much sleep I was getting. And what I realized, though, is no matter how positive you are, no matter what your mindset is, if you're not taking care of those fundamental things that make your mind healthy, make you think clearly, then you're going to be a disaster no matter what, right? And if you're going to be taking on a real estate business, plus your job, plus your kids and family and all your other commitments, that can be a lot. And if you're not getting, your body and your health under control, then the rest is gone. And I'm sure you can all, relate to not having enough sleep and just how agitated you can be. Your focus isn't there, right? So I really want to encourage everyone to start with those principles of trying to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. There's apps where you can track your water. Obviously, going to the gym every day or going for a walk, just moving your body, even taking breaks during the day, move your body, get out, get fresh air, get sunlight. And I'm sure you guys have noticed whenever you do that, you feel better, you get those endorphins going, and your mindset, your mind, and your mental state starts to improve. And so if you can keep this foundation going, you can take a lot more on in your life, and you can also deal with things that come up a lot better. Okay, the next thing is just believing in yourself. It's confidence, right? And this, everyone knows that. When you think of mindset, that's probably what most people think, right? It's the rah stuff, but it really does come with belief. And if you're starting something that's new and scary, like real estate investing, it can be extremely exciting, but it can also be really scary, right? A lot of times in this business, I've found that in order to have success and get where you want to go and achieve your goals, you're going to have to do things that maybe you're scared of or you don't know. You're going to come up against some of your fears. And if you don't believe in yourself and believe that you can do it and believe that it is possible, then you're never going to be able to move forward. You're never going to wake up and do the things that you need to do to get your business going to where you want it to be and reach your goals. Okay, so it starts with belief. And some of the ways to get that belief in yourself, if you've never done it, if you've never bought a property, if you've never closed a deal, if you've never made an offer or talked to a seller, negotiated, look to others who are doing the same thing first, right? So you need some mentors or some people to inspire you. And that's doesn't have to be a paid mentor necessarily, although that really helps. But even on YouTube, there's so many people that are talking about real estate and entrepreneurship. And if you can see them doing it and find a person that you can connect with, just the type of personality that they have that you can relate to, and see that they're just normal people doing this. And if they can do it, you can do it. That's a good way to get that self-belief going, right? The other thing is obviously mentorship and education. So fear is really, it's the absence of knowledge, right? So the things that we don't know about and understand, we're fearful of. And so the more you can learn about real estate and about entrepreneurship and negotiation and, the math behind making offers and deals, the more you can learn, the more confident you'll get because that knowledge gap is decreasing, okay? The shadows are disappearing you learn, right? And then things like affirmations, journaling, self-talk, mirror talk, whatever works for you to just build that self-confidence, getting that belief that, yes, I am a real estate investor. I am good at this. I am a people person. I am a good negotiator, whatever that might be. And you really have to talk to yourself. You have to convince yourself. And there's so many books and courses on all that stuff, but it's really important. Okay. And then also going off of what you've already accomplished, look back at the things you've done that were hard or scary and use that to fuel you moving forward. So maybe you've never done this before, but what other things were you new at that you conquered? What have you excelled in your life? What are some of the positive things about you that you can focus on so that you can get to that next level in real estate? Okay. The other part is you need to be clear on why you're even doing this. Why are you on this webinar? Why are you interested in real estate? Or whatever your goal is. Okay. I mean, I might want to, I don't know, it'd be cool to run a half marathon, but I run like 10 minutes a day. That's it. The why and the vision and the reasons for wanting that goal are not strong enough for me to do it. It'd be cool, but that's it, right? I don't have a clear why. I don't have a reason and a vision to go and train for a half marathon. That's just where I'm at. But I have a clear why, that I spent 2 hours today calling asset managers on banks, even though it's kind of scary and it's not the most fun. But I know that by doing that and making myself do those calls and talking to those people, I'm going to get deals for my mortgage note business. Okay. And I feel strongly about why I'm doing that and where I'm going with my business. And so it drives me to make those boring steps, or those steps that are kind of scary, talking to people, etc. Right. So if you're not clear on why you're even setting out to do this and what your vision is and what you want to achieve, then you're not going to get anywhere. You really need to be clear on that and feel it. It's got to be more than just, well, I want more money. Well, no, like, why do you want more money? What are you going to do with that money? How is your life going to change if you have that money? If you want more time, well, are you just going to, watch Netflix if you get more time? Or what are you going to do with that time? What are you going to experience? So how's your life going to change? And when you really feel those things, and it's kind of the rah vision board type stuff, but it really works if you're clear on why you're doing it. Then you'll be able to go and do it when life is hard and things get tough. Okay. And then the other important one is, who do you want to be? It's great to have money, but like, what kind of person do you want to be on the other side of it? Right? If you're an entrepreneur and you've got a successful real estate portfolio, like, what kind of person is that going to make you? And if you're going to do that and teach people how to do it and have success, what does that look like for you as a person? And who are you going to be when you are that? Okay. And then, there's so much out there about goals and having SMART goals and that kind of thing, but it really is important to, in order to have a good mindset about things, you have to have clarity, right? Like, mindset isn't really about goals and time blocking and all that stuff. But if you don't know where you're going and have a plan, it's really hard to have a clear mindset and a strong positive mindset, because if your brain is going in a million directions at once and you're trying 10 different things at once and trying to juggle all these balls, there's no way you can have a good mindset because your mind's just cluttered. Okay. So I really encourage you to have maybe a long-term goal, whether that's a 5, 10, maybe 20-year goal, a retirement goal, right, that you're working towards, but then also break that down. And just start whittling it down to daily action. So you go next to your 1-year goal, or maybe it's your 3-year goal, right? So of course, that's why we all love New Year's, right? It's our chance to have that New Year's resolution and reset, right? So having that goal for your business and your real estate business, and whether that's how many properties you want to buy or how much income you want coming in, it all depends on what your real estate goals are, but really have those goals structured so that you can look at them and then craft a plan to get there. Okay. And so what are the components? Like, if you want to have, 3 rental properties in your portfolio, but this time next year, well, what do you need to do to get that, right? It's great to want that, but what are you going to do to get it? And so every real estate strategy has different actions, but break it down into those actions. So that could be, finding your realtor, finding your property manager. It could be sending out, those yellow letters to people. It could be going on MLS in the morning every day, whatever that might be for you. But figure out what those actions are and then make them routines and habits. Okay, so I spend the first 3 hours of my day, my wife and I both get up at 5 in the morning, and we have like silence and peace before the kids get up. And that's where I analyze like 3 to 4 deals a day, every single day, 7 days a week. And now it's just my habit. I don't have to push myself to do it because it's just what I do. It's my routine. Okay, so those important actions, make them habits and part of your schedule in your daily life. Okay, and so you can create things that you do in your week that you always do at a certain time, weekly, monthly, and daily. And then you can do the same, of course, with family and health and community, because we need balance, right? We're not going to have a good mindset if all we focus on is work. Okay, so we need to have that balance. And so focus on how you can implement all of these things with the other important aspects of your life. So here's just an example you might want to do is like, this is what I did recently is I need to earn blank a year. Okay, whether that's 100,000, 200,000, whatever it might be. One deal, so whether it's a rental property, a flip, lending money, whatever it is, one deal is going to earn me this much on average. Okay. Therefore, in order to get my goal, so if it's 100,000 a year and one flip deal is going to earn me 10 grand, well, then I need to do 10 per year. And so, or let's say 12, just make it easy. Well, then 12 per year. Well, then you need to do a deal a month on average, right? Okay. Well, for every deal, how many offers do I need to make, right? And you might not know that up front what it's going to take, but you could set a goal. Say, well, I'm going to try and make 10 offers a month or 10 offers a day, whatever it is. And you'll probably tweak it over time as you figure out what the results are. Maybe it's actually 100, you know. And then you can break it into weekly goals and say, okay, well, I'm going to make this many offers a week. Boom. And then, in order to then pick another part, like in order to find sellers, I need to send this many letters or make this many phone calls or whatever it is, right? So anyways, I'm not going to spend too much, but you get the idea. Break it down until you've got a daily or a weekly action that you can do. Okay. So, and here's a few examples. You want to be marketing for your deals somehow, right? You want to be raising capital eventually, even if you've got money now to spend on a real estate deal. Eventually, your money is going to be into deals, right? And you're still going to want to do more deals. And so you're going to have to start raising capital from other people, right? Private sources, okay? And then you're also going to want to be finding lenders and financing. Then you're also, if you're wholesaling or flipping, you need to be marketing for the buyers of your houses, right? Or maybe for tenants or other team members. So there's a lot of different goals you can set for each component of your real estate business. And key is to block that time and stick to it, because there's always going to be something that distracts you and gets in your way. Okay, so that was a lot. It's not really mindset, but I've wanted to cover having a clear mind first, so that then you can have the proper mindset to actually take on the world of real estate. And these are 3 of the best books I've ever read when it comes to the topics I just covered. Getting Things Done by David Allen is incredible. If you actually implement what he teaches you, you won't believe what you're able to take on once you implement it. I remember when I read the book and I implemented his strategy, my wife suddenly was like, wow, you finally know what's going on in her family. Because I used to be so cluttered in my mind that I just rely on her to schedule everything that the kids had and everything. But this cleared my mind so much that I could actually take on knowing what was going on, with the rest of the family, for example. And I could take on more responsibility because I had everything so well organized. The One Thing is by Gary Keller. It's all about focusing on the number one thing each day that you need to do that's going to move you forward, and then doing that first, plus a bunch of other stuff, but that's the premise. And then the Miracle Morning are just habits that you can do every single day that help you achieve your goals. Okay. And then if you do want some sort of a productivity planner, I recommend just searching Brendan Burchard's productivity planner. Just Google it, and you can download it for free. And that's a pretty good one. I've used that before, and he has instructions on how to use it, so I won't take up time. But that's a good way to start to make your daily plan so that you're taking action in the right things. Okay, and putting your focus where it needs to go. Okay. The next thing that you may encounter as you get going in your real estate business is the entrepreneur's trap. And I made that name up, but to me, it's a trap. Many entrepreneurs, you start a business and then you want to do everything yourself, right? You're a perfectionist. You learn how to do the business and you realize that no one can do it as good as you, right? So you end up doing everything and you're a perfectionist. So, it's got to be done a certain way and you don't trust anyone else to do it because they're not going to do it right. And so you start stacking up all these tasks and taking on all this stress and pressure because it's all on you. You're the center of your business. And if you take a sick day, everything collapses. You can't take a vacation because everything will collapse. And suddenly you've just got yourself another job, except it's more stress than when you were working for someone else, right? So many entrepreneurs can relate to that. Um, and it's been my problem. It's been one of my number one problems. And I remember my father too. He would never come on vacation with us because he couldn't leave the ranch, right? So we was always just our vacation without him. So that's one thing to really keep in mind as you're building your business. And if you're starting something new with real estate, keep in mind that you don't want to build yourself into a trap that you can't get out of, that it all just relies on you. Because most people that are into real estate investing, they're trying to buy freedom, right? Financial and time. So one of the ways that you can, start from the very beginning is outsourcing and delegating. So when you look at a task that you need to do, think about from day one, learn it, figure out what you need to do, simplify it, and then focus on how you're going to outsource that to someone else as soon as possible. Okay. So especially with the way the world works now online, I mean, there's so many virtual assistants out there. I've got VAs in the Philippines and Pakistan. I've worked with people all over the world, and you can delegate so many tasks now so you don't have to be spending your time doing it because your time is valuable and you need to be doing the high level things that grow your business, right? So always approach every single task with the goal that you're going to outsource it. Okay. And break it down, like from day one, write down all the steps that you're doing and keep track. And if you tweak something, keep a note of it on how you did it, or record a video of that task so that when you're ready to outsource it, you've pretty much got it all there and you can just train someone to do it. Okay. And that way, if you're planning on outsourcing from day one, then it won't be such a huge task to do once finally you're so broken and stressed. And then you finally decide to hire someone out. And then you'll have to like figure out how to teach them how to do it. So always think of it as a business system. Okay. And always be looking for technology and things like automations. And there's so much tech out there that you can automate. So you don't even need people, but just having certain softwares and things like that, you can automate so much of your life and make your life easy. Okay. And the book I recommend just came out, I think, last year. Who, Not How: The Formula to Achieve Bigger Goals Through Accelerating Teamwork. Okay. It's all about outsourcing. And then one thing is, there's going to be certain tasks in your business that you're the best at, you love, you enjoy, whether that's negotiating or whatever it might be. You can do the tasks that you like, that fire you up, and you know that you're pushing your business forward. But that way you can outsource the stuff that you hate, or maybe that you suck at, right? Some people, Michael Matthew, he's an accountant. I wish he was here, but, he might be good at the accounting side of things or the numbers side. Me, I hate that. I don't want to be touching the numbers, right? The accounting. So I outsource it out. Okay. All right. Sorry, my phone's ringing here. The next one I hear all the time from new real estate investors, and sometimes I do it too, and I definitely did when I started, was analysis paralysis, procrastination. And whenever people learn a new skill, if it's scary especially, you can always find reasons to not move forward, right? Like things like cold calling, or even just reaching out to people, like even reaching out to a realtor, making an offer. I remember I didn't know how to make an offer when I was getting started, and I couldn't figure out how. Every time I read a book or saw a podcast, they just talked about making offers, but they never explained how you do it. And I was so terrified that I never actually made offers. until I finally reached out to my real estate agent, and I realized it's the easiest thing in the world. You can do it on a napkin if you want. But I was paralyzed because I didn't understand it. And so I was just too afraid to make a mistake. And so I did nothing. And I would procrastinate, and I'd do everything else except make offers. I'd analyze the numbers, but I wouldn't make the offer. Right. Um, so you can get into that where you'll keep reading books or keep watching podcasts. And even though you now know everything you need to do, you're going to keep analyzing and keep learning because you're not quite there yet. Right. Whereas if you just take action, that's what will move mountains for you. But so many people just want to keep learning and not doing, right? So really it's all about taking imperfect action daily, okay? And it doesn't matter if you suck at it because you're going to learn, right? It's all about action, action, action. And every, I guess, phase of growth in my real estate business is because I took some kind of action, okay? And it wasn't ever perfect. It was messy, bad, and sometimes I acted and sounded like an idiot when I talked to people. Made bad offers, almost closed on bad deals, but I learned from each action that I took, and it grew momentum. Okay, so part of that is taking action is the key to getting out of your comfort zone. Okay, real estate's difficult. I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. There are things in real estate. It's a huge industry. There's so much to learn. You never stop learning. Things change all the time, right? And it's gonna get you. It's gonna put you out of your comfort zone eventually. And if you want to succeed and reach your goals, you got to embrace the fact that it's going to be hard sometimes. Some things you're going to suck at, and that's fine. That's good. Bring it on, right? Um, and I have kids, and I remember when my youngest was a baby. We never look at our kids and say, "You moron! You can't even say that word." Like breakfast. My daughter says breakfast or breakfast, and we never look at our little kids and say, "You idiot! Why can't you say that word?" Right? But we look at ourselves and say, "Oh, you idiot! You can't public speak," or you're not smart at this. You suck at math, or whatever it is, right? So why not approach yourself the way we approach kids? We don't look at babies and say, "Oh, this stupid kid can't walk. What the heck?" Right? We like encourage them, and we're fine with the fact that they can't even crawl, and we're fine with it, right? Because we know that they're going to get there. And if you approach yourself with that same mentality that, yeah, okay, this is going to be hard, but I'm going to practice, I'm going to fail, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to get there just the way kids get there, right? Okay. And it's all about being patient and being forgiving. And for some people, that's super easy. And for other people, that's really hard to do. Okay. And just a couple of quotes I found. I just read the book Dune because the movie came out, and they have this saying in there: "Fear is the mind killer." So when you're feeling fear, the mind shuts down. Another quote I found is, "The only thing that's stopping you from where you are to where you want to go is your comfort zone." Okay, you got to be able to step in there, just do it. And fear is the only thing that gets smaller as you walk towards it. And I really believe that. For example, I was making cold calls was the scariest thing ever, and calling sellers out of the blue because they're going to say no, they're going to turn you down, they're going to yell at you. But you just do one, and be okay with the fact that it's going to be hard, and then you'll do another, and oh, that one, they were actually nice to me on the phone, that wasn't so bad. And then you do another, and you're like, hey, that my script I said a lot better. Wow, they actually responded, they didn't hang up on me. And every little thing grows and grows, and your confidence grows, and your comfort, you feel more comfortable with it. And you realize if someone rejects you, oh, I didn't die from it, didn't hurt that bad. And you do another one, right? So it's all about just walking towards that fear and just doing it and forcing yourself to do it. And another thing you can do to prepare yourself is actually practice being uncomfortable. So there's different ways that people can do that. It could be public speaking, right? Joining like Toastmasters, or doing something like this, talking into your Zoom camera to a bunch of people, right? That can be hard. I remember the first time I did it, it was terrifying. But do things like that. Putting yourself in situations physically and just proving that you're stronger than you think, right? So like going to the sauna and sitting there for a full half hour, even though it's hard and hot, or doing the cold plunges, right? And just showing yourself, yeah, I'm going to get in this cold water. I'm just going to do it and just jump in and prove that you can do it, right? You can use that courage that you showed in other parts of your life, or sign up for races, right? Or those Tough Mudders and Spartan races, or train for that half marathon or 10K, and just prove that you can do hard things. Because sometimes people don't even show themselves that they can do hard stuff, and we live in a society now where life is so easy, and it's so easy to avoid difficult things. But if you push yourself to do hard things, that'll build your confidence for other hard things. And you realize how strong you actually are and what you're capable of. Okay. All right. So what scares you should drive you? I think in the world, if there's things in your life that you're scared of, those are the things that are going to help you grow to be the best human you can be. And if you go towards that fear, as scary as it is, you always come out as a bigger, better, wiser person on the other side. Okay. One of my mentors, Scott Carson, he said that when something scares you, it has the power over you if you don't do anything about it, right? So everyone has fears and things that are holding them back. You can all probably identify something, and you can either just let that have power over you your whole life, or you can walk towards it and do what is needed, take that action, even if it's tiny, and the rewards are amazing. They always are on the other side of fear. And the only way to get over that fear is to do something, to take some kind of action. Okay. That hard conversation, or that asking that person out. I remember before I got married, asking that girl out was the most terrifying thing because of that fear of rejection, right? But if you just practice, on the other side, you might find that perfect partner, right? So on the other side of that phone call, you might find the perfect deal that you've been looking for, right? That hit it out of the park, fix and flip, or something like that, right? And it really is the key, I find, to all of my success in real estate has been just taking those actions. Luckily, real estate's not rocket science, but it's action. It's just taking action and practicing and learning. Okay. And real estate can be forgiving. Like, obviously there's a lot of risk and some scary stuff, and I'm going to talk to you in a minute about some of that. I just want to check the time. I better go fast here, but it comes down to action. Okay. And just taking those baby steps every day, planning those action steps and being consistent. You start feeling that snowball. You start realizing that you believe in yourself as a real estate investor. Maybe you didn't at first because you're brand new, but you start doing it and you start to believe it. You start buying into the fact that, yeah, I am a real estate investor. Even if you don't have a deal, but you're doing the going through the motions, right? And then you start making contacts and people refer you, and you meet some random person that you're like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe I just met the exact person I need, the exact realtor I need. And this thing start happening for you and snowballing and growing just because you take a few actions. Okay. And the other thing to remember is, like, if you're here on this call and you've been taking part in real estate Zoom calls and things like that and studying real estate, you know more than 90% of people out there when it comes to real estate investing. Okay. And you can use that as confidence too. Most people don't know a thing, and you know way more than them. There's obviously going to be some that know more than you, but those are the ones you learn from. But most of the people around don't know what you know. Okay. The other thing to take heart in is that most people will quit. Okay. Most people, if you go to a real estate conference or something, training, most of the people in that room are going to quit. And you can quit too, but all you have to do is not quit. And that's it. Just have to keep going. Okay. And when you start going and growing, you'll be surprised at how small the group of people that are actually doing it is. It seems very daunting, but the more you do it, you start realizing that there's not that many people doing it. And there's plenty of space for you to grow and be a leader in the industry and have huge results. Okay. And I think that's with any industry. So stick to your plan. Okay. Modify it as you need, but stick to your plan. Do all the planning, take care of your health, keep your mind clear, do what you need in your body, track your results. Okay. because when you track your results, you know which phone calls worked, or how many calls do you need to get a deal. How many offers are you making before you get one accepted? What script is working, what's not working? What letter that you're sending is working and what's not. If you track all that, then you've got data, and that takes your emotion out of it. It takes your mind out of it. You just look at the data and you can make decisions from it. Okay. So always track your results, and that'll keep your mind out of it, except for your logical mind. Don't give up too soon. A lot of times people give up too soon because it's not working right off the bat. Okay. So I recommend setting a time frame for whatever goal you have. Maybe you've chosen a strategy, so go for it, whether that's wholesaling or, whatever it is, Airbnb. But set a time, at least a year or at least 6 months, something a bit longer, and just see if you can make it work. Don't give up just because after 1 month it's not working for you. Okay. Give it some time before you switch strategies. And that way you'll avoid shiny object syndrome of the people that just switch from one thing to the next. They're never achieving anything because they're just jumping and jumping and jumping. Network marketing and crypto and stocks and real estate, and they're never doing anything. They're always just jumping. And I think if you can set timelines and give it a chance to work, you'll avoid that. Okay. Approaching people. The real estate is a people business. Okay. And I think if you go with the mindset in real estate that you're here to help, that's your number one goal, is to help solve problems. That's what real estate investors actually do. The ones that are the most successful are the ones that solve the most problems for people. And the best deals you get are the ones where you're able to solve the biggest problems for people. Okay. So if you approach it not that you're just here to get paid, but you're here to help people, not only is your reputation going to grow, people are going to refer you to other people they know, and your business is going to grow that way. You're going to feel better about it, but you're also going to get better deals. Okay. And one thing to realize is people are starving for just regular human beings that are themselves. They're not fake. We've seen so much just corporate fakeness, right? People want to do business with people that have emotions and flaws, and maybe they make mistakes when they're on the phone or whatever. People just want to talk and do business with real humans. And if you can just be yourself and be authentic and not worry, whatever things about you that you don't like, don't worry about them. Just do it anyways. People just want to connect with honest, regular, authentic people. And I promise if you just be you, whatever that is, people are going to respond and feel that. And they're going to want to do business with you, especially if they feel that you're wanting to solve their problems and help them. Okay. So he or she who solves the most problems wins. And then lastly, go above and beyond whenever you can. Do a little extra. I worked for a painter when I was in college, and he would always paint a little bit extra for the client than what was asked, or do a little bit extra, just something every job. And it paid off for him. Okay. One of the most successful painters in his town. Okay. I'm worried I'm running out of time. I'm sorry. I have a lot of slides, but, scarcity will kill you. Abundance. Just always feel and tell yourself that there's enough. There's not too much competition. There's enough deals out there for me. There's enough private money out there for me. I just have to find it. It's out there. If you go with the mindset that, all the deals are gone, no one wants to lend me money, whatever. All the realtors out there are scammers or whatever. They suck. If you have that, you're going to find what you put out there, and that's what you're going to find. So if you just have that mindset of abundance, that everything you need is out there and you just have to find it, you will find evidence for it, and you'll find it. Okay, my last thing. So as you guys all know, it's been quite the fall for hurricanes. I know that Florida has just got hammered with flooding and a really bad storm. I know the Maritimes, my mother and father-in-law are on their 6th day without power in Nova Scotia. So things can go bad. And people in Florida right now, things are going very bad. Okay. But with that, bad situations bring up a few things. They challenge you and show you who you actually are inside and what you're actually capable of. They also bring about a chance to help more people, and they bring about a chance to, get more deals, more opportunities. Okay. So this is Houston in 2017, Hurricane Harvey. And I was doing some of my very first fix and flips from Canada in Houston. And I'm going to show you a few pictures here. This is Pony Lane. This is a flip I bought. And this is the before picture. Before Hurricane Harvey hit, we were going to do a remodel on it. It had flooded a couple years before. Didn't clue in. I was an idiot. And so we bought it, and it was like it had been flooded and not really improved. So we bought it needing renovations. You can see here, this is how high the water was when the river flooded nearby, the Brazos River. Here's before. So we had some of it remodeled when the flood hit. So this is what our kitchen looked like. This is what it looked like after all the grout, everything was all washed away. And then here's before the living room. Here's after with pools of water. You can see how high the water was in the fireplace. So we had a flip that got flooded 5 feet of water, whatever it was. I don't know, 4 feet. And that was devastating, right? Not only that, but then here's the other house we had. So we had another flip going on at the same time. And this one we had completely remodeled, and our open house was scheduled for the Sunday that Harvey hit Houston. The same day that we were going to show our finished flip. Harvey hit, flooded the entire neighborhood. And you can see again in these photos how high the water was in this house. And this is what, when we did our second remodel. So we remodeled it, it flooded. We had flood insurance, thank God. So we did a second remodel on it, and this is what it looked like the second time when we ended up selling it. The problem is that the property values in this neighborhood dropped almost $100,000 after Hurricane Harvey. So we were supposed to sell this house at like $250, and I couldn't sell it at $180. So this, it was stressful. I'll tell you what. It tested me beyond anything I'd ever been tested, because I owed people money. I had private lenders on the deal. We owed a hard money lender. We were paying like 12% interest every month. And it was breaking my business because I was trying not to go into foreclosure. I was trying to keep making payments on these properties. And we had to hold them for extremely long. We were going to do these flips in like 6 months, and we held them for like a year and a half, paying hard money loans, 12% money. So what did I learn? How did this shift my mindset? Besides making me a little bit grayer, a little bit balder, it was hard. I'm not going to lie. My mindset sucked. It's hard to get through these kind of things. But what I realized now, still being in business after this event, was that you're stronger than you think. And if you do go into these things, you will realize what you're capable of, what you can handle, what you can think through, what resources you're able to find. Okay. You can do it. It's good to keep a sense of humor about it when you're looking at your tube. I remember the day of the hurricane, I was actually laughing because I just knew there's nothing I can do. And I was just seeing flooding, and I was just like, all right, I'm at the mercy of Mother Nature here. And I was laughing. I don't know why. It was just my response. But it helps. Laughing helps. But you also realize sometimes that your nightmares might not be as bad as they seem. Okay. So some of those things you think are going to be so awful that could happen, when they actually do, sometimes you realize that they weren't as bad as you think. And I learned that there's a lot of ways that, with insurance and write-offs, things like that, there's ways of getting out of these bad investments that you don't even know exist, right? And without going through and learning them, you won't know that they exist. But there's people out there that can help you. There's smart people in this business. There's other investors and attorneys and all kinds of things that can help you get out of bad deals. And it's not the end of the day. You're going to get hurricanes and all these other things, but bad tenants and stuff. But at the end of the day, they're learning experiences, and they're going to make you a better, stronger person and a better, stronger real estate investor. Okay. So if you just look at it as a lesson and just go through the motions and just learn, you're going to be okay. And what I learned is that you can have a friggin' hurricane happen, and you can still get through it and still be a successful real estate investor. Okay. So be around loved ones, be around the people that believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. And I still have an email my dad sent me just telling me that he believed in me and that I would get through it. And I saved that email, so be around the people that support and believe in you even when you don't. Okay. And reach out to other people that like myself. If you guys get through something bad, you got a tough deal, people like myself that have been through it, I'm happy to talk to you. Okay. All right. I think I'm good. I'm done. I'm going to leave it up for questions now. I hope I didn't go over. But if you want to reach out, I'm happy to, talk real estate with any of you guys. My website's calewing.com. Super easy. You can email me at cal@calewing.com. And also, I do have a Facebook group about real estate investing. It's both Canadian and US real estate investing. So if you just search real estate wealth creators in Facebook, I'd love to have you as part of our group. Okay. So I'm going to stop my share and open up to any questions if there's any.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Cal.
You bet.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. You have that capability, and this is your time to ask.
Lost a few, but if Philip's got any.
Yes.
And if anyone's got questions that are watching the replay, just send me an email and I'm happy to answer them that way too. So
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so
yeah,
much, Cal.
you bet.
Philip, did you have any questions for Cal before we close out for the evening? Feel free to unmute yourself.
Putting him on the spot, poor
That's
Philip.
right.
Okay.
All right. Well, you know what, Cal, thank you so much. I think you definitely shared valuable points on what it takes on this journey. One, to believe in yourself, but also a healthy mind first begins with a healthy body. I think that was very valuable. And also to the fact that, as you progress, you're going to have challenges, and it's having that strong mindset that allows you to see those challenges as opportunities.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned too, is that part of what gets you through that and supports that is also the people and the team you have around you. So those are definitely
Yeah.
fantastic points. So
The
thank
team
you for
sport
that.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, wonderful. Well, Cal, on that note, I'm going to say thank you for joining us. We're going to put this up on replay for the members, and I'm confident Michael will send a copy over to you. And thank you, Philip. Thank you, everyone that did join us. And have a wonderful evening or afternoon, depending on where you're at. And we'll see you on our next call. Just let me share something with everyone with regards to our next event. Hopefully, this time I could share the proper screen. Give me one sec here. Um, our next event will be October 27th, I believe. Share screen. Uh-oh, I'm having a technical moment. Give me one sec here, everyone.
Well, while you're looking, I just want to say thanks for having me here again. I really appreciate it. And for those of you that are watching the replay, reach out if you need anything. I'm always here to help any investor for anything. So
Yeah,
happy to
absolutely.
be here.
Thank you so much, Cal. So yeah, our next event, I'll just open it up on the screen here. I hope you're seeing it. Is October 27th. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern. The topic will be determined. And as I mentioned, here's Michael's contact information for the group. Perfect. All right, Cal. Well, thank you again, sir. Have a wonderful evening. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Until next time, have a good one. Cheers.
Take care, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.